and it's reprogramming the unconscious mind, which the neurotransmitters are starting to respond to. So what was once an issue, like overeating, hating your body, stuck in resistance, can't make a decision, whatever, it is just no longer there. There's no drama. It just forgot to happen. It's just gone. You just get to be in a state of beingness within yourself. When you enter in these like core states, you are your own answer. You become your, resourceful, amazing self. And it's, it's amazing.
Welcome to Harmonic Alignment,
a podcast that explores the new frontier of energy medicine,
bridging the gap between Western medicine and quantum physics,
giving you easy and practical solutions.
Guided by
me, Dr. Larissa Sharipova,
and me, Priscilla Koblentz. Join us on a journey discovering your harmonic alignment. On today's episode 59 of Harmonic Alignment, Dana Michelle Gillespie. I'm so excited to introduce you to Dana. I fell in love with her work back in 2013 when I subscribed to her app called My Moontime. And it was this beautiful app that had a spiritual feeling where it was tracking your cycle, but also following along with the moon. And that was a huge healing tool on my journey. Dana has always been ahead of her time and pioneering women's wellness. And so she's now so lit up about an amazing healing modality called subconscious change work. And through that, core transformations. It's kind of connected with parts work. You're going to want to listen to this podcast so you can get a better sense of how she's using this healing modality to help her clients. And also, you're going to want to check out her website, mymoontime.com, because she's got some incredible wellness tools. And also a new favorite thing, I just bought her journal, the Moontime Journal. I'm planning to use it all of 2026. You're going to want to get that in before the holidays. So be sure to enjoy this episode, share it with your friends, and visit mymoontime.com so you can learn more about Dana's work. I am so excited. On today's episode of Harmonic Alignment, I get to connect with someone I've known almost a decade, Dana Gillespie. Dana, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you're here. I was trying to remember how we first met, but I think it's because I fell in love with your app that you created. What year did you create your app, My Moontime?
I started that in 2013 officially, and then I was able to launch it in the iTunes store November 11th of 2014. Yeah.
No way. November 11th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a journey. So what inspired me, because I was so passionate about trying to better understand my cycles with the moon and how women's hormones and the fertility windows, and you just had such a beautiful, and I'll call it spiritual. It wasn't just like the science facts, like you added in some of the magic of being a woman and the moons and the cycles. Tell me, I know you've studied so many different modalities, but as far as like women's health and wellness and alternative health, how did that really start for you?
It's really been an entire lifelong journey. Like I came into this world asking questions, wanting to know things. And I've tried so many things and I've trained in a lot of things. And where I've landed is subconscious change work. That is my very favorite. And I still do energy work. I don't offer it really professionally unless someone's like, they know me and they're like, I just want an aura healing. I'll just do little bits. And then they usually have to go take like a nice nap and feel refreshed. But what I have found for both myself, especially during COVID, when I had done like over a decade of energy work where I was in like a Lewis Boswick clairvoyant 2 year plus an extra year in a teacher's program, I thought with COVID and, visiting family or staying with family, everything should be great because I've done intense therapy essentially. All the stuff was still there. And I was like, what is happening? So I reached out to a close girlfriend who knew me really well. And she was like, try subconscious change work. Immediately after one session felt incredible. And so I just wanted to dive in, experience more for myself, and then have this available for females because most females are currently on Earth, in my perception, very stuck in so much control and programming and shame and all sorts of good jazz. And that's just on the cultural level. That's not on each person's personal family journeys and whatever. So with our menstrual cycles and empowerment and just living a great life in connection and community with each other, being able to clear essentially these warps and lies out of our space that they're there, no judgment, but let's clear them so you can actually just be here and just feel great and co-create with everyone and have a great time. And we could all be thriving in life. And that's just it. So I love subconscious change work. The main modality that I work with is core transformations by the Andreas family, and I've been working with females specifically within that modality. And it's kind of like I guide you into a really relaxing meditation. And you could say it's a little deep, but it's profound. It shifts energy. It feels like on every level. And it tends to feel like a full body mind spa when you're done. You have never felt the way you feel when you hit and you go into these non-dualistic states through this process, and it's pretty amazing. It will be, in my perspective, because I kind of have been always 5 years, 10 years ahead of the market on everything that I've been interested in. This will be the therapy of the future, the main healing modality to help clear out all of the programming and trauma and stuckness and, polarities that we're all kind of just trying to survive through.
So it's called subconscious change work, but you said core transformation. Are they two different things or a subset?
So two different things. I call the full umbrella subconscious change work. I've got some active tools from another modality that I trained and certified in that I will reserve if I really need to. Core Transformations was created by the Andreas family, Connie Ray Andreas and her husband. They took NLP and they made it accessible for people to learn, and they brought it into like a soul state. So it wasn't about money or manipulation, or it was about kind of being able to connect within yourself and feeling whole and present and loving and neutral. And so they created a methodology called Core Transformations. They also have the wholeness work, which goes even deeper. Core transformations, the meat and the potatoes of their work, is my favorite thing to bring people through, no matter what traumas they've survived, what programming, addictions, what have you. It's just safe and gentle and effective. And it's kind of scientific a little bit in a ways. There's a methodology there, but it always works. And it's very kind and gentle. And you work in gratitude. And it's like you just enter into these states of being that, like, I don't think we would enter into without doing this work. And I still do energy work with myself and my classmates. I love energy work, but core transformations for me just lands in this preciseness that's just, oh, it's incredible. Yeah.
Oh, Dana, I love that. Well, when you say the word energy work, our audience members may not understand fully what that is, but it also sounds like there's a method to this form. Do you call it a form of energy work?
I ground into subconscious change work so you can understand it's the mind, the subconscious mind. Because when we get into energy work, it's kind of a slippery slope. And I don't know what experiences people have. I've sadly seen too many, people that are like, I'm a psychic and they're really just like, you have to only work with me and you can only get your answers from me. And that's sad, but it's true out there. So I lean more into talking about it from a scientific perspective and just let people experience the profoundness to where they can put their own experience and words towards their effect.
So walk me through a session. Like, what would that look like for somebody?
Usually I start with like a little complimentary, 20-minute kind of session of like, hey, what do you want to work on? What's showing up for you? And then we decide like what's the game plan. Then I book out 2 hours because and I'm going to butcher this word, the infradian, I think it's infradian currents of our body that go in and out every 2 hours. It's kind of the subconscious and conscious mind come in and out, if I'm saying this correctly. So you want to hit that sweet spot of at least 90 minutes of doing this work. When I sit down with somebody, it could be a little bit longer. You generally want to start with a lighter topic. And what's very common and powerful is a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm having an issue with my, boss or my family member or somebody. So I'll kind of guide them through in that first session. It's a quick, usually about 40-minute process of getting neutral to someone and then having their unconscious mind reprogram their past. So that kind of gets more neutral in the past and then in the future as well. So they have these resources of neutrality of somebody that's really driving them bananas or whatever's happening. We'll pop into a core transformation session from there. Or sometimes they're like, hey, I just want to jump in and do this. You want to start and do kind of a light to medium topic the first session or two with core transformation so your unconscious mind can feel safe in here. If you are familiar with IFS, inner family systems, which is uber popular right now, core transformations is part work. It is the complete part works. So this is how I know core transformations will be the modality of the future because many, many practitioners who have been doing and clients that have been doing IFS for a long time or whatever, they get to a point where they're like, okay, well, everything's still here and I feel like I'm just placating these things within myself. So they come to core transformations and then they go deeper and they actually have full integration within their system. So a session with me can go a few different ways. And 2 hours, I've definitely had people, kind of go through 2 hours. And even though somebody may be like, oh my God, I have this thing that's really bothering me and I really want to go heavy right away. It's funny, even a light session, like I'm just going to do a topic that doesn't really bother me or whatever, it will be amazing how profound and amazing you'll most likely feel through that light topic session. Yeah, like have you ever had that feeling you need a vacation from your vacation when you come home?
Exactly. Yeah.
This work gets in there and just really transforms that stress, the unconscious stress, and whatever's showing up that kind of creates that exhaustion and resistance and tiredness. And
Are you actively participating in a dialogue via Zoom or in person, or is the client laying down or
so if I were working with you or any client I work with, we work on Zoom, even if they were my next door neighbor, because I want you relax in your own bubble. And you'll be sitting, you'll close your eyes and I'll guide you through. So it'll be my voice. It's like almost like a guided meditation. A client recently is like, this feels like a guided meditation in a way, even though it's very precise. I'll use very melodic talk to kind of relax you. And I'm holding space. So you're doing the work. And to me, that's one of the key pieces of why this work is so precise and powerful and lasting because you're getting the real and right answers within yourself, and you can actually have the transformation or healing, however you want to look at that. And so people have said this feels like energy work, and it does, but it's, has a methodology to it. Connie Ray's husband, he was, I believe, a famous chemist, had like a PhD in chemistry, like hardcore scientific person, not spiritual. And then afterwards, I suggest, having time for you to just to go and relax, drink water, take a nap, go on a walk, what have you, because your system's changing, it's shifting.
so you mentioned the science. So what do you think is happening from a scientific standpoint? Are you rewiring neural pathways? Are you moving trauma, releasing trauma out of the body? Like what is the verbiage you use around what's actually happening to help someone?
Oh God, there is a fantastic, I think, 20-minute little talk Tamara Andreas does on this about the scientific nuance of this. So I'm going to invite you to find a part within your space, depending on what topic we're working on. And then you'll kind of interview this part and essentially start healing it. Then you integrate it in your system. Other parts may show up and we heal all of those parts completely. So we're essentially healing these parts within ourselves that became, separate and will be causing us to be stuck somewhere, feeling certain things, not feeling whole. And these parts definitely can be formed by, trauma is such an interesting word and concept because any part of the mind, especially during childhood, that thought it was a threat to its survival will be classified as trauma. Anywho, through this gracious process, we know that no matter what part we're working with a person, even if it's a part within themselves that, I want to kill everybody or whatever, deep down it has a positive purpose. It wants something positive. So once you kind of start going in and, giving this aspect, like you're interviewing a small child or somebody else, like, okay, great, thank you. So once you have this, what do you want through having this is even deeper, more important. And then you let the part kind of, it might be an image, a sound, whatever. And you keep doing this iteration until it's eventually going to enter a non-dual state of being. So it might be wholeness, beingness, peace, love, presence. every person has a different connotation of words and meaning. So it may not have even a word, but a non-dualistic state of experience, and you enter into that. So once the part enters into that, we go and, deprogram or reheal all of the unconscious beliefs, because these are all unconscious beliefs, these earlier iterations that the part wanted. Then we get to move it through your timeline, through your body, through your ancestors. Like we do a lot of stuff, and it's reprogramming the unconscious mind, which the neurotransmitters are starting to respond to. So what was once an issue, like overeating, hating your body, stuck in resistance, can't make a decision, whatever, it is just no longer there. There's no drama. It just forgot to happen. It's just gone. You just get to be in a state of beingness within yourself. When you enter in these like core states, you are your own answer. You become your, resourceful, amazing self. And it's, it's amazing.
It's like you come back to your I am. You've pulled off all the things that aren't in your original makeup. Like we come
Yeah.
in whole and we've got these layers that we've put on from our family, society, our friends. It's like you're peeling back. And I'm just imagining this state of just oneness and love and with for the self, like you're removing the programming that says I'm not enough, that I'm whole and complete. Like it
The
sounds like
cool thing is
scarcity
they're
or
doing it, and it's very active, and like they're just
Mhm.
healing these parts, and it's precise and it's exactly the right key and lock. So it's so profound. You enter these states of beings, like you said, this state of, unconditional love and beingness and connection with, all that is. And you're just like, oh my God. And I don't know that we would actually get to experience these states of being quite like this is profound if it wasn't for this particular methodology. Like it's so good. And it's funny because like I still do breath work. I still do all the other things, which is fun. It has its place, but to me, this is the meat and potatoes. This is why I do this work professionally and I feel safe charging somebody for it because I can guarantee results. If I did energy work, depending if somebody's coming in, they sort of had a really challenging life and they've got a lot of, protection energy and proven energy and anger and their heads all lit up because their analyzers trying to like essentially disembodied. You can't really be present and your mind's trying to figure everything out in survival mode. That will take a very, very long time through energy work. They recommend eventually when you had enough, healings, go learn it, yourself so you can have it deeper and then become a teacher so you can have it deeper. And that's a beautiful path, but I like to bring somebody through core transformations just to have themselves and then choose what you really want to do in your life and not have this be like a whole lifetime experience, you know?
Dana, that's fantastic. How has it changed your life? Like you mentioned, like the chaos of COVID. What was the healing that you received that kind of started you on this journey?
I think the first time I had my first session, and this was my experience. I don't think it's that common for everyone. I've had like one or two other people randomly, and it's another processy I will use if someone's had like a really hard physical trauma, like they were sexually assaulted. They don't tell me about it, but I take them through kind of an active processy to clear that. I wasn't physically abused or anything, but I had a lot of, emotional stucknesses and what have you. After my first session, I couldn't believe it. Like it wasn't right away. It was, I went and walked away, closed my laptop, got off Zoom, put my shoes on, was going on a walk. And like within like, I don't know, 5 minutes, like I felt like my face was just smiling. I felt really, really light. Everything shifted. I was in like this bliss bubble for the entire day. I'm like, what is happening? That was incredible. I remember specifically one client I've worked with that had a very similar reaction. With core transformations in particular, I have been able to access parts of my heart. And the thing about this is you get into your cellular. So it's not just like your spirit body kind of coming back into your physical body and your physical body trying to catch up. It's all the layers. I remember once, I forgot what I was receiving a session on, but it felt like I had a huge sun in my heart and it like the energy was going out and under my feet and back through my feet and my whole system. And then bringing this into female wellness and like having receiving sessions myself, that kind of almost like the blood chi energy pulsations like through my whole female, reproductive organs, down my feet and out to where I actually feel like I'm energetically flowing and releasing, but feeling within myself just alive and amazing and whole and neutral. And yeah, it's so,
Oh, I love
so
that.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but witnessing clients, like so many clients have just been like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And like, I'm just guiding someone through, they do the transformation, they have the experience, and I get to witness it. This is experiential and it's so profound, but it's so wonderful
I
from
love
people.
that. Is there a particular client? You mentioned women. Do you specialize in particular issues or is it women or certain ages? Like, what would be why someone would reach out for you for this service? Or
So I right now I kind of have two things going on. I'm listed on Core Transformations as a certified coach. So I have clients coming to me for whatever they want to work on. And then like one of my favorite things is helping women fall back in love with themselves and help them have pain-free periods and a life they love. So clearing out all of the stuff there that we didn't even know was there to bring that connection back in to your body, your mind, your spirit, your whole being, so you can really just flow through your life with ease and your menstrual cycle. Because I think what 98% of most, illness was found by a famous scientist from Stanford was from stress. And the other 2% was inherited or 3%. And so when we're able to dissolve stress and kind of start reprogramming it even on the ancestral level, life gets really fun and you get your energy back and you feel good again. And a big piece with menstrual cycles and even moving into the perimenopause and, the power years of menopause is so many of us have, whether we realize it or not, some level of resistance towards our female body and our menstrual cycle being like, oh, even if it's just like, if you're like me and you like to go, go, go and get things done, when we're in our, moon time, our menstruating time, we need to slow down. And, that can be frustrating for some people sometimes, unless you just are like super into it. So transforming and kind of healing that relationship right there can be huge. You feel really good through your whole system. Like it's pretty profound. So, I work with everyone on whatever they want, but I do love helping women kind of go back into that self-body love, the, menstrual cycles, because once our menstrual cycle and female bodies in balance, our whole life is able to really flow in balance and vice versa.
so you mentioned that you do an introductory call to see if this is right for them, and then you book a session. Where can they find your work for that? Is that on your website or?
Yeah, there is a danamichelle.com. And there should be a button with shoot me an email, we'll figure out our schedules, do a little intro call. There's also information if you want to do like the female wellness, menstrual health on mymoontime.com coaching, especially for so many women that have or may have endometriosis. Stress is like, there's so much that this is useful and helpful for. I was talking with a GAPS nutritionist, and she was like, it's helping so many people with weight loss, but the stress, until the stress
Yeah.
is dealt with, and it's like, that's why you come to me.
I mean, stress, nervous system regulation. If someone is in fight or flight, they can't even take information in to make a change in their life, right? And so it sounds like you're getting to that energy, calming the nervous system down, lower stress, you lower inflammation, you lower everything in the body starts to flow. I love that visual of their weeks unfolding with like ease and everything's like happy. Because I think that we don't understand the unseen. And I think this is like a Tesla quote is, when we start to study the unseen, science will make more discoveries in 10 years than they will in the last few centuries. It's like, so we are energetic beings, and this energy field is not just our physical body, it extends beyond. And it sounds like you're opening that up. And then that woman, oh, her whole week is better. Like she doesn't even realize the energy blockages and the walls that are up that are preventing all the abundance to flow in her life.
Yeah. And it's not something we can consciously change or override or overpower. We can hype it through. Like you can try for like a day or two and then you get exhausted. So this work, the subconscious change work, it is like the exact right lock and key to have that be healed. And then you can just really have what you want to experience. And you kind of get back into your own flow.
Oh, I love that. Well, one of my other favorite tools that you have, I'm going to show everybody my Moontime journal. And I think you have a demonstration on your website of what this looks like. Tell us how the Moontime journal came to be.
So the the Moontime journal I made for myself. It was a couple of years ago. I was driving around and I love my Moontime app, but I don't love apps in general. The app world is shifting very quickly anyways. Apps will probably dissolve because they're not really apps, they're software programs. And with AI and everything, and it's not safe. You do not want to put your information out there. But for me, I actually just really needed a place where I could see everything and write it down in a big calendar somewhere. And also too, like, yes, I live in California, but like in case I need to burn this and to be like, I don't have a menstrual cycle. What are you talking about? I could physically do that. But really, it's like I do conscious contraception. So I needed to have on a calendar like the days I took Queen Anne's lace, the days I was, intimate with my partner. When did I do womb steaming? All of these little nuances because I try to write it in a calendar on my iPhone. I couldn't keep it straight. So I really wanted to have something that was easy access that I could like flip open and have on my lap and journal. And then working with the unconscious mind, knowing, through kind of NLP training, how the mind hears words and responds to words and essentially mind control in a way. I really wanted to have beautiful ways to reflect on the day. So positive affirmations of like, this is what I'm creating, starting your day that way, writing it down because we are, I think, programmed, culturally, unconsciously programmed of over 10,000 years of writing
Mhm.
physically. Our system's not responding to, writing things in a text or on a laptop. So
I love
when we
that. Makes me
write,
think that writing down has a stronger frequency than typing it. Like we're
yes,
actually amping the
100%. We're
frequency.
culturally programmed to writing things down responds and kind of imprints into our nervous system so much more profoundly than anything else. So I wanted to have a beautiful way to kind of have those opening in the morning, closing in the evening, what the day was like, and then a month at the end of your menstrual cycle, a reflection back, and the end of the year, reflection back. So you can kind of check in with yourself. It's like a beautiful way to connect in, and it's very empowering too, healing and empowering.
Well, I've got it. I'm so excited. It's done broken into where it's like my perfect little journal to start and end my day with. So wake up, come here, set my intention for the day, celebrate my wins at the end of the day. I am super excited. Everyone's got to get this before January so they can follow along and create a beautiful 2026. One of the things that we love to ask our guests, if you wish every soul on the planet knew some wisdom, what would that wisdom be?
Okay. So usually every morning in my morning meditation, I imagine kind of the whole world just completely covered with golden neutral hello roses. So every spirit can feel loved and seen. And then I kind of say everyone having access to clean air, water, food, shelter, connection, community, love, beingness. So I think if every being could feel unconditional love and that connection. That would be priceless to me. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I'm always wanting us to plant more seeds of the world we want to live in. I also know you're passionate about sustainable farming and ag. You're living in the beautiful Napa Valley. Um,
Beekeeping.
there you go,
I'm into
beekeeping.
natural beekeeping now, so that's pretty wild.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What are some things that you think humans should be aware of or doing more of to make the planet a better place?
The most important thing we could do is get with your local producers. So always buy from your local producers. I mean, that's why the United States was kind of founded, right? To have the little town republics where we could, you know, be connecting with our community and sharing our goods, right? Among other things. But yeah, if you can buy from your local farm, your local rancher, and then really talk about, sustainability. So Roundup, glyphosate probably the one of the worst pollutants we're killing ourselves with to kill some insects. So if you have a neighbor that's just spraying that, please just buy them a bottle of concentrated vinegar, 30 to 40%, and that will kill their weeds. Like, just go replace it. Here you go. It's not that expensive. So that's a useful thing because we're having a massive issue, if anyone is aware about The bees, if they collapse, most humans will too. We have a really awful varroa mite, and there's an even worse one in Ukraine, Russia right now. Beekeeping is bananas. We're trying to breed for bees that can survive the varroa mite, but part of it is just the level of toxins in the environment that people are spraying with that aren't really necessary. There's so many natural ways to might be a little bit more labor intensive, but are beautiful and useful and it all works. We just have to make those little shifts.
I love that you mentioned the bees. I have a friend who's been working to save the bees using frequency because we
Oh,
really believe it's the guts in the bees that are so messed up. Mites have been around for 1,000 years. It's not the mites, it's that the bees aren't healthy enough. Their immune systems are weakened by the toxins and the EMFs and all of those things. And that she told me that we've had the most devastating bee loss on the planet of all time last year. And if we can't keep that up for less than 5 years before it really will impact our food supply. So yay for the bees. I'm there with you. We got to love our bees. Everyone, we're going to end up with bees in our backyard. That's
the
what we need to do.
Napa Valley Bee Association is an amazing bee club because they promote natural treatment-free beekeeping and they don't shame people who, if you're new to beekeeping, you go out and spend $1,000 and you buy bees that are imported from another state and your bees start to die because they can't survive the varroa mite because they've got the gut issue or whatever. They go and put the little whatever toxins to try to kill off the mites. You're not breeding healthy bees. Bees only live about 4 weeks, right? We're not beekeepers, we're bee stewards. So all bees are just mating with each other. So we really want to help proliferate bees that can survive this and be healthy. It's a few different layers, but getting rid of the toxins that they're spraying to kill everything would really be a helpful.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, we're calling that in a planet without pesticides, or we really do organic regenerative. You are a woman who has studied so many beautiful modalities and experiences. Is there anything else you would like to share on harmonic alignment?
For anyone that is having menstrual related issues or know that somebody is, I did also create moontime rituals because you have to eat well, you have to sleep, you have to drink good water, you have to exercise, like basic things of being a healthy individual. For female wellness, so much of that female menstrual cycle experience is the physical structure of our body. So doing castor oil packs, the womb steaming, which has been done throughout time in pretty much every healthy
Real
culture.
quick, because I don't know that most people understand womb steaming. That I mean, this is still
Yoni, womb steaming,
pioneer-esque.
pelvic steaming. Essentially, you're sitting over a steaming pot of either hot water or herbs to where you're getting that steam, that connection. It's just warm and it can feel incredible, like you're a queen, but it's helping bring total balance. And there's a lot of things that help. Like people have written whole books about all that it helps with. That steam, and depending on what herbs you're using, is helping bring a balance back into your physical tissues and the uterus and helping the uterus, depending on what's going on, come back into balance. So
Beautiful.
it has been done in Africa, Egypt, in India, in definitely Central and South America. Like it's historically, every healthy culture had their own version of pelvic womb steaming. Huge, huge, huge game changer. And it's so simple and it's so enjoyable. People have been like, oh, I think I heard about it, but I don't know how to do it. So, like that castor oil packs and abdominal massage, womb
We need to
massage,
add that
whatever.
into your wellness, your self-care routine. I love that.
Yeah, so I made three little, like, 40-minute recorded videos kind of going the ins and outs. It's like a spa-like home setting to get you going because so many, I mean, I've had like 7 women the past few months be like, oh my God, someone told me to get a castor oil pack to do castor oil, but I got all this stuff and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, let me create a video because you don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. So I
Yeah.
put that out there. I think it's like $59 for 3 workshops. That's key because it's a holistic piece and it's the body. Like, so you could do all the subconscious change work you want in the world, or you could take all the supplements. But if you don't do the other pieces, you're just kind of only getting like an inch, right? Yeah. I'm not trying to overwhelm people. It's not that challenging. You can add little pieces. The womb steaming alone feels incredible. So just doing that like 2 to 3 times a month max. And if you're going through peri or menopause, once a month. Absolutely. But once
Beautiful.
you start doing it, you're not going to stop. Like it's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm glad we get to end on that. That is fantastic information and something that, we should embrace more of this understanding of connecting with our body, all of our body, like loving it all, and that the womb is such an important part of that. So, well, my friend, I am just honored. Thank you for sharing your beautiful
Aw,
wisdom
it's
here
such a
on harmonic
privilege.
alignment. And we have to have you back because you are one of the people I know who's always pulling in more, learning more information, always has something beautiful to share. So thank you.
Aw, thank you, thank
Uh,
you.
Are you ready for your Energy for Life bioenergetic nest scan? Dr. Larissa Sharapova and myself, Priscilla Koblenz, offer personal, private, 90-minute consults to get you back to optimal health and well-being. For more details, visit the show notes or check out harmonicalignment.co. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Harmonic Alignment. If something resonated with you, we would love to hear about it. Please consider leaving us a 5-star review and subscribing so you don't miss an upcoming episode. Thank you. The information contained in this podcast is provided for informational purposes only and not intended for the purpose of diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. Before using any products referenced on the podcast, consult with your healthcare provider. Carefully read all labels and directions. The products and information received through the podcast should not be used to replace a consultation or advice from your healthcare provider. If you suspect you have a medical problem or have any healthcare questions, please promptly call your healthcare provider. This podcast, including Dr. Larissa Sharapova and Priscilla Koblenz and the producers, are not responsible for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained in this podcast. This podcast may contain endorsements and advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct financial benefit to the product or services referenced.